Hey, welcome back to Infinite Realms. Guess what? Another haul video. This one is going to be focused on, these were mostly bought secondhand. There's one trade in here that is a big trade. I mean, it's a huge trade, but we'll get to it in a minute. Starting off with, we're going to go with Magneto. This was a package deal. I really wanted the Cyclops out of this, but the guy would only trade on package deal with both. I had to get two figures for one. The one figure I parted with wasn't that great of a figure, so I'm okay with that. I didn't expect to like this Magneto, honestly, but when I got it, I was kind of looking at it going, yeah, this is kind of cool. The head sculpt is nice. The helmet looks great. Everything about it is really cool. I don't know for certain, but I think this is the family, what was it, Family Matters pack or something like that. I think this is reuse of that. From what I can tell, it looks to be, and I can see why. I mean, it's a cool looking Magneto. Now, you have the House of X storyline, and I never read it. I did read about it, and I was like, got about halfway through, and I'm like, no, this is too much. No. It kind of exemplifies so much that I don't like about the modern X-Men. It's just too much crap going on at once, and not enough substance in the middle. And I don't want to talk too much about it, but yeah, there is one thing I found out about it. I was really kind of put out by, no, I'm not getting into that right now. Now, Magneto does remind me of this other Magneto that was from a while back. I forget which wave he was in. I know it was a couple of years ago at least. But yeah, the pattern is kind of similar, even though the colors are different. And it's almost reverse, so it's kind of nifty, kind of neat that happened. I'm sure that was just a design thing, but I like it. So I mean, there's not much else I can say. It did surprise me. I'll give it 4 stars. Again, I wasn't expecting to like this one, and I did. I thought I would end up putting it on my trades, and I like it so much, I'm gonna keep it. Sorry. Okay, and just for some comparison, here is that old Magneto figure that I was talking about, and I still don't know which wave that came in. I know I always liked this Magneto figure because it was a good opposite rendition, kind of juxtaposition of the colors. But, with the white Magneto, I do see that the pattern is actually different, but very similar. But I do like that they kind of carry off each other. And of course, that's a design from the comics, but still, nice to see it in figure form. So next up is Cyclops. Now, just gonna say it, I had mentioned that, there are some holes in my collection, and one of them is Cyclops, because, you know what? It's not that I don't like Cyclops. I don't like any of the designs he has had. Unlike a lot of people, I don't like the Jim Lee design. I just think it's like his old blue costume with a strap on it. That's it. It didn't appeal to me then. It doesn't appeal to me now. And I mean, while we're being honest, let's just be honest. A lot of his looks are very plain. But this one struck my eye. The light blue with the dark blue really caught my attention. And this was one I missed. I did not see this one. And I just kind of was going through some stuff and kind of saw it. And I was like, oh, wait. I actually like this outfit. I like this design. This works for me. This is something different that, you can tell it's Cyclops. It's not, it's obviously Cyclops, but it's a little different than the everyday. And so I went looking for it, and again, I found this good trade. 2 for 1 though. That was the thing. 2 for 1. So had to get them both. But I do really like the Cyclops. The I-beam that plugs into the opposite head looks really cool. I like it. I mean, I needed a Cyclops. I just didn't like the ones I had seen so many times before. And then this one came along, and I was like, great. Yeah, this one's been out a little while, but, it's great. I like it. So I just traded for it, and here he is, a welcome addition to my collection. 4 stars on this one. Probably should rank him a little higher than Magneto, but, again, it's Cyclops. I mean, despite the nice stuff with the design and the light blues and the highlight it. Still Cyclops, his outfit's still kind of boring, but this is more exciting than the previous outfits I've seen before, so I'm going to go with 4 stars, and now I've got a Cyclops, finally in my collection. Okay, so here is Cyclops mixed in with a bunch of the various X-Men figures, and although he comes from a different era of X-Men, I do think he kind of fits in well. As you can see, I've kind of mixed the eras up with my X-Men, but you know, I also have fun doing that. And then here we have Cyclops with his wave mates. I did have the House of ML Wolverine. I missed the brown costume Wolverine, so I got that one as kind of a substitute. I'm not a huge fan of the head, but everything else on it seems to work just fine. And I was really surprised. I got 3 figures in one wave. That's pretty darn amazing for me. So yeah, speaking on filling gaps, looking around the wave here, you know, obviously I have Wolverine, Cyclops, and now Magneto. I really hate that Professor X. It's just, I have such a hard time with that one. Moira McTaggart, I mean, I get why they made the figure, as I read about her part in House of X. I'm not very interested. Now, the Marvel Girl one, that might be one maybe later down the road if I decide to try to build a version of the original X-Men. I don't think I will. It's interesting. And I always forget this one's name, but the Sentinel Girl, I just I just don't like that one. So that's kind of my opinions on the wave overall, basically. One possibility left in that wave, and I don't know if I'll get it or not. We'll see. But, you know, not high on my priority list either. Moving on, I have finally acquired a comic book accurate Thanos. Yay me! And I love this figure. This is a fun figure, and the secondhand market on this one is pretty high. I did this in with somebody else, and it was just a couple of bucks above retail, so it wasn't that bad. This one really appeals to me. Again, he just looks freaking cool and freaking big. He's a big figure, but he's also very stable, and there's a lot to really like about this figure. I mean, he's a great comic look. I love the sheen on the stripes on his on his chest and all around. Those look really good, and they reflect light really well. I can't say enough about that. Of course, he has swappable hands. One of them is getting ready to snap, and then in addition to that, we get you get the King Thanos head, which is pretty good. I mean, I don't hate it, but it's not the one I'm going to put on. I'm going to put on the more classic look with the Infinity Gauntlet with the snap getting ready to happen. That just makes it look so good. Of course, as soon as I got him, half of my action figures disappeared. Sad, really. I don't know what happened. And just for a bit of comparison, here we have Thanos along with Apocalypse, who will be performing Shakespeare in the Park soon, and Death's Head, because I did not realize how tall Death's Head was until I put him beside of Thanos, and I was like, whoa. And that's pretty amazing for a regular release figure. He's not as broad, but he's definitely tall, so I just thought I'd throw him in there. And for a bit more of comparison, I brought out the Thing, Doctor Strange, and the Hydra Stomper, just because I honestly haven't been able to show off that Hydra Stomper since I got it. Fun story about that one, I got it for the price of half off at a store. I don't know what the deal was on that, didn't ask. But I actually got the Hydra Stomper cheaper than I did Thanos, which I didn't. Thanos wasn't too bad, but just thought it was a funny thing I'd share. And then I was just kind of goofing around and decided to put Hulk in a funny pose and lean him right in the Thanos chest. Not a very realistic pose on Thanos' part, but I just thought it was something fun and funny to do. So after that, well, yeah, I bent and bought that Wong figure. I like it. It's cool. I mean, I just said, get it. I'm gonna get that Wong figure because I like his character in the MCU, and I just decided to get it. Well, you know, a couple of surprises to me were about this Wong figure. Is I didn't realize that him and Strange came with the exact same hands. I mean, which makes sense. I mean, they're just hands. I mean, there's no reason not to be the same hands. I can see that as a money-saving thing for Hasbro, but you know, I just never noticed it until I had them in hand. I was like, oh, those are the exact same hands. I'm gonna get those mixed up, but it doesn't matter anyway. You know, really like the colors on this. The yellow and the purple and that kind of lavenderish color. It's, you know, being a painter of miniatures, and then that really dull orange as well. You know, being a painter of miniatures, if you told me to paint a figure like that, I would say that'll never work. I would. And then I look at this action figure and I'm like, this works. I don't know how, but it works, and it looks really good. It's colorful and it doesn't overdo it. And that could have really slipped very easily into way over colored. There's also a little blue on the gauntlet there, bringing it all together. Really, really like all of that. It's really cool. Now, if I had to give Wong something I didn't like, it would be that the robes do limit the articulation slightly. Well, more than slightly, but you can get some poses out of him still, but you're not going to get the poses you get out of most figures. And, you know, I would wish Hasbro would come up with a solution to get around this robe issue by now, because it's been around for a long time. But it's also pretty obvious, so it's not like I'm majorly disappointed. He moves a little better than I thought he would, but still, there are some limitations. And so here we have Wong with Shang-Chi, Master of Kung Fu. Why? Well, he appeared in Shang-Chi's movie. I wasn't a huge fan of the movie rendition of Shang-Chi, but I'm a huge fan of Shang-Chi anyway, and so I went with the classic comic version. Yes, I'm mixing the cinematic ones and the comic ones again. And there we have Wong beside of movie Doctor Strange and comic Doctor Strange, because why not? Let's keep mixing it up and make the people scream. I'm just kidding. But it's still fun to do. Now, in as far as this Doctor Strange wave goes, I gotta admit, I keep going back and forth on it. I've got Strange, I've got Wong, I've got Sleepwalker. I keep looking at American Chavez and thinking, they're never going to make another American Chavez figure. And I sometimes think I should get Despair, and then I'm kind of disappointed in Despair. And, you know, Mordo isn't bad. I don't like Clear Strange, I just think he looks weird. Best I can give you is he just looks odd. I think they tried to get too much color in with the translucency, and it just kind of failed on that front. Every time I look at that figure, I just don't like it. But yeah, this has been a wave that has kind of thrown me for a loop, because it's like I almost want every figure, and I keep saying, nah, I better not. No, I better not. And I'm like, oh, why not? You know. So we'll see. I've still got plenty of time on this wave. America Chavez seems to be peg warming, so if I bend on that one, that'll be easy. Maybe I'll build a Rentra. Finally finished Build-A-Figure. So next we have, I bent on this one, and I've held back on this for a long time. The 20th anniversary Captain America. Before I get into my holdback, let me talk about the great parts of this figure. And there are plenty of great parts. The swappable hands, one points, one salutes, one, gripping hands, or open hand. God, I'm forgetting which hands are which. Sorry. And I'm sitting here looking at the video while I'm talking about this, and I'm stupid. But anyway, the other thing I love is the sculpted in scale mail. That was probably the big thing to me, because I really like that on a Captain America figure. To me, that sells me a Captain America. Love that. And I know this is the 80th anniversary one. I just repainted, and I actually prefer these colors to the 80th anniversary one, the lighter colors. They're really nice. I really like them. So that helps too. Now, of course, the issue is the shield. And People have covered it to death. So I'm going to say just a few things about the shield. Yeah, there's holes in it, put effects. That means, if you display your figures, you can't put the figure up without an effect on it. Now, that can be detrimental. Me, I prefer these little gunshot ones. Those are the best to me because they're least obtrusive and they kind of look pretty good. Another thing you could do is you could just hang it on the back peg and just turn it to where the holes are not visible, and then you don't see the holes. But yeah, I really wish they had put that shield out with no holes on it, so that it would. I just think it would look. I think it's a cool looking shield. The colors match, and that's the problem, is that getting the colors to match is an issue. Now, of course, he has a stand and he has a background with it. Really cool background, a World War II bombed out background, and of course, the comic book background. You see most people using that bombed out background, which is really nice. So it's an excellent figure. I gotta give this one. I mean, as far as the figure goes, this is the best Cap figure we've ever gotten. That shield is the problem. 4.5 stars. Best Cap. Removable head, Steve Rogers head. Everything about it is just wonderful. But that shield just destroys a perfect figure, unfortunately. It's a bit of letdown. Like I said, there's a couple solutions around it. That's what I'm going to do with my display model. I mean, and eventually, I'm sure there's going to be a substitute for that shield. So for some comparison, here is Captain America with the Series 1 original Captain America that he is the anniversary figure of. And you can see how far toy technology, wow, say that 3 times fast. So you can see how far toy technology has come in the past 2 decades. Also with him is the Ultimates Captain America, which I think was either wave 7 or 8, maybe. And watch, I'm probably like a mile off. But there's a Cap from the original Toy Biz line. And then, of course, we have Cap with Zombie Cap and Red Guardian. Duh, comrade. I'm sorry, I should never try to do voices. And then here are the Avengers. Stealth Iron Man, along with Modern Thor, which keeps reminding me that my Modern Thor is now outdated. How ironic. He's actually not that bad, but, I just can't help but make that joke. And now we have Cap fighting one of his greatest arch nemesis, Crossbones. I just really love that Crossbones figure. There's nothing better than that Crossbones figure. I mean, that nailed that character. This Cap really comes close to nailing a great looking Captain America. And for some extra fun, we got Wolverine just doing a little scratch on the shield. Just for fun. Okay, I'll admit, Wolverine looks like he's just tripping and falling. And then finally, because he's not a Marvel legend, he is Star Wars Black Series. Han Solo. So, I've now bent and decided to get the original cast of the original trilogy in Black Series scale. So I decided to start with Han. For no other, I mean, I already have Boba Fett and Darth Vader. I decided to start this run with Han just because he seemed to be one of the easiest to find and easiest to acquire. I almost bought the new Bespin one because I was what I wanted to do was mix up the eras and where these guys came from. And then I got a really good deal on this original one, which is perfectly suitable. There's nothing wrong with him. What I do like is you have both. You have the option of either when they were in the Death Star and they were using Stormtrooper belts and guns, or you have the classic pistol with a sight on it. Either way, you can go either way with this, and it's really cool. So that was the kind of the main reason I went with this one. Is he the best Han Solo ever? I won't say that. He's a decent Han Solo. He's a good Han Solo. I like him. I had a little trouble getting the holster back on. I'm probably going to keep that holster on him because that's just more iconic. And, articulation's pretty decent. I'm probably going to keep with that on the shelf. I don't see me getting every variation of Han Solo in this line. I just wanted to get one at least that looked pretty good. My initial thought was to go after the indoor one because then you can change the look. You know, you can just take off his jacket and you have, like, you know, almost a variation of his Bespin fatigues. Or you could, you know, put the jacket on and you have the indoor look. I ultimately went with this just because I got a good deal on it. And I'm glad I did. I think it's a nice looking figure. I think it's a cool figure. You know, I'll give it 4 stars easy. I noticed for the real facial scan stuff, real picture stuff started happening, but it's still a decent head sculpt. So yeah, not too much in the way of comparison. I just set him up with Vader and Boba Fett. Looks pretty good in comparison. So yeah, he works. Okay, I don't have that much to compare him to. Well, that'll change soon. Okay, so sneaking this one in late, we've got just arrived at my door, the Marvel Legends VHS Animated Wolverine. And I have really been waiting on this figure because, yeah, no, don't have a yellow Wolverine in my collection. This seemed like the perfect opportunity to get him. And, of course, there you see the plastic-free packaging. Good for the environment, the little green symbol down there. And, you know, thinking about it, with a internet exclusive like this, it's not so big a deal. You're never going to get the chance to look at it before you open it. Although I have heard some reports that Targets are getting these, which I'm really confused about. But anyway, let's crack this baby open and see what we got inside. Son of a bitch. Alright, I'm just kidding. Yes, there was a Wolverine figure in there, and you know, we've seen the recyclable plastic baggies that he comes in. It's a bit odd, bit different, and toy collectors don't adjust to different, but that is what it is. Okay, so here is Wolverine. Now, I am, you know, a lot of people said the cell shading is not so bad, and I have to agree on this figure. This one, it's not bad. Now, I look at a figure like Sinister. Oh my god, he looks like he's been he fell into an ink vat or something. And then you look at Storm, and I think the black lines just really detract from that figure. I haven't taken a good look at Morph yet, but I've seen pictures of Morph, but I haven't taken a really in-depth look at him yet. But Wolverine here, I think one of the things that helps this figure so much is that the shading is very light. It's a little bit of an orange, and it all goes in the same direction. Looks like the light's on the side of him there. And it's very subtle. There's not a whole lot of it, but it's obvious from a light source. And that helps lessen the blow, I think. Versus, you know, again, Sinister, to me, was the worst example of this so far. And I'm never touching that figure because I just have to say, that figure, to me, personifies the wrong parts of this animated line. Wolverine exemplifies the great parts of this line, and this is a perfect example of great parts of this line. Now we have a neutral expression head and a sort of growling head, which both are pretty expressive, both are pretty good. The other thing that's different, and I really like, is the fact that the claws are more of the round claws from, you know, the old John Byrne days, not the knife claws that we've seen later. In fact, so many people comment on this that it looks like it is out of the animated series, and I'm like, to me, it looks like it did in the original comic. I think it was Mark Silvestri who first did the sort of knife claws that are kind of the norm now, and I was always partial to the more thin claws. Now, being thin, there's some bending, and I've got a little bending in mine, but not so bad. It's not, I mean, it's something I can straighten out, given time, and it's not going to be so bad. But that is a little disappointing, but not terrible. And of course, we get the the meme picture, and we get hands, regular grippy hands. Now, the downside on these is I wish they had the little metal sticking out. like in a cartoon. Cartoon, when Wolvie's claws were retracted, and in the comic, those little metal pieces stuck out. So that's another mild disappointment. But this is a fantastic figure. It looks great. It looks like Wolverine. It is Wolverine. I think it's one of the better looking Wolverines I've seen in action figure form. It's been a very long time since I've had Yellow Suit Wolverine in a Marvel Legends scale. And like I said, the cell shading's not so bad. There's, a little bit of it on the shoulders, a little bit of it in the crotch. Oh my! And a little bit of it on one sleeve, one glove. But really, it's kind of subtle. I take that back. It's on both gloves. Sorry. But it's really subtle, and it doesn't overtake the figure like I said with Sinister, or detract from the actual figure like I feel it does with Storm. So yeah, this one, I think of all of the animated ones, this one is the one to get. Yeah, even if you don't plan on collecting this line, I really think this is the one to get. A lot of it is for nostalgia for some people. For me, this is Wolverine. It's not. I don't necessarily call it nostalgia. It's just more or less, this is what I think of with Wolverine. I sometimes think of the brown outfit, and sometimes I think of this outfit. But either way, those are two I think of. And to me, this is really great Wolverine. So all in all, I'm gonna, even with the few flaws it has, I'm gonna give this a 5-star. I think it's really awesome. I think it's well worth your time and investment, and the aggravation of dealing with Hasbro Pulse, who, hey, we'll have it shipped there. Hey, it shipped 3 weeks later, and I don't know. I had that problem with a FedEx shipment from them, so maybe it's not their fault. It was like it just decided to stay overnight every place it stopped. That was funny. And this one actually arrived pretty quickly. This one was to me within 2 days. So that's kind of nice when you get a pre-order and it comes a lot quicker than you expect. But I want to tag this one on here just because it's really that good of a figure. And if you are a Marvel Legends collector, I highly recommend this figure. This will fit in, if you don't have a yellow Wolverine, Tiger Stripe Wolverine, yeah, this one will do nicely. You can barely notice it's different than anything else in line. It's not overwhelmed like Sinister was, and I keep harping on Sinister, I know, but that's the one that just really almost turned me off to this figure, and I'm glad I took the time to take a second look and realize this figure looks good. Okay, so again, really quick, I'm just going to do some quick comparisons. Here's Wolverine with the X-Force Wolverine and the House of X Wolverine, just to give you an idea how they all look together. And then, of course, we have Cyclops from House of X and Magneto from that Mystery Wave. I just am not bothering to look it up. It's not a Mystery Wave. I'm not looking it up. I'm just a little busy and can't get to it. But, yeah, that gives you an idea how Wolverine looks with the others. He didn't make the group shot, so... and I'm too lazy to set up the group shot again. So yeah, this will be his final hurrah. But next is the group shot. So end of the day, a decent haul. Mostly Marvel Legends this time with some Black Series. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you guys enjoyed these haul videos. Let me know in the comments. If you like it or not. But anyway, don't forget to like and subscribe. And you guys have a good day.